Fancy Nancy Tea Parties by Jane O'Connor. Here she starts another letter for the reader from Nancy. Bonjour, everybody. What I love most about tea parties is that you can have one anytime. You don't need to wait for your birthday or Christmas or some other formal occasion. That's a fancy way of saying an important day. Whenever you feel like celebrating, that's the perfect time for a tea party. I often feel like celebrating. I've been the hostess of so many tea parties that I am practically an expert about what to wear, which refreshments to serve, and how to make everything look tris elegant. There are just 3 important things to remember. Be fancy, have fun, don't forget to invite me. Divinely yours, Nancy. And this has a table of contents, so you can just go to whichever thing that you want to learn about. Ensembles and etiquette, classic tea parties, buffet tea parties al fresco, tea for 2, and doll tea parties. Ensembles. Ensembles is fancy for outfits. You can really wear anything to a tea party as long as it's fancy. If guests arrive looking too casual, that's a polite way of saying plain, no problem. I always have lots of accessories on hand. Etiquette. Etiquette is French for polite manners. Here are some things to remember besides saying please and thank you, of course. If you burp, put your hand over your mouth and say, excusez-moi. Your napkin belongs in your lap, not on your head. Try not to grab. Compliment your hostess. That means saying nice things like, this is yummy. Classic tea parties. Classic tea parties are where guests sit at a pretty table. Miss Devine and I pretend to be famous and call each other darling. At tea parties, it's fun to speak French as much as possible. I keep cards with French words in a fancy box. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Excuse me. You look magnifique. 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 S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. Yes, please. Merci. Thank you. Merci, darling. Magnifique. Magnifique. Oh, magnificent. De rien. De rien. You're welcome. See how fun these words are? I just love it. Gorgeous papillon. That's French for butterfly. Placemats. Fold a piece of construction paper in half. Draw the same shape I have. Cut it out and open it. Add jewel stickers around the edges. Voila, you're done. When I'm planning a tea party, my best friend Bree often assists me. That's fancy for helps out. Sometimes I borrow Bree's fancy china set, but often we just use plain paper plates. But put doilies on paper plates and voila, they're fancy. Wow. Using cloth napkins is very fancy, and so is dabbing your lips with them. The napkins don't all need to be the same. Mix and match them. It will look so stylish, which means fancy in a very interesting way. Bibs are not fancy, but sometimes they are necessary for younger guests. Can paper napkins look fancy? Oui, oui, oui. When you fold them into fans. Take the napkin and make tiny accordion folds. Fold over one end. Place the napkin in a cup and open the fan. Très fancy. I use plastic flatware at all my parties. Flatware is a fancy word for spoons and forks and knives. Sometimes I put 1 or 2 jewel stickers on the handles, or I take a permanent marker and monogram them. That means I write my initials, which are NC for Nancy Clancy. Place cards are tiny signs that tell your guests where to sit. Sometimes I take lollipops and tape a name on each. Then I stick them into a marshmallow. Here is a finished place setting that I am sure you'll agree looks very elegant. Yes, that looks very nice. We should definitely do that at our tea party. Beverages. That's a fancy word for drinks. Do you need to serve tea at a tea party? No, but this recipe for iced tea is delicious. That's fancy for yummy. You need to make it the day before with help from a grown-up. So ask nicely, s'il vous plaît. Sunshine tea a la Nancy. Place 4 to 6 tea bags in a pitcher and fill it with 2 quarts of water. Cover the pitcher so that nothing can get inside. Place the pitcher outside in sunlight and leave it there for 3 to 5 hours. As the sun moves, make sure to move your pitcher too. Then put the pitcher in the refrigerator. Before you serve the iced tea, add sugar. A little orange juice in it is very tasty too. Ooh, that's interesting. Here, extra fancy fuchsia lemonade. Make a can of pink lemonade. Then add cranberry juice to make it hot pink. You can also put in some raspberries or blueberries if you have them. That sounds lovely. Refreshments. That's a fancy word for snacks. You can never go wrong serving tea sandwiches at a tea party. Do they actually have tea in them? None. Remember to eat them with pinkies up. Nancy Nibblers. Oh, there's more recipes. I like to give all my recipes fancy names. Spread cream cheese on a slice of date bread. Then put raisins or banana slices on top. Cut each slice into 4 triangles. You don't need a top slice. Keeping them open-faced looks fancier. Raspberry swirl. Cut the crust off a slice of white bread and place it between 2 pieces of wax paper. Flatten it out with a rolling pin. Now spread raspberry jam, or any flavor you like, on the bread and roll it into a log. Cut the log into slices. Don't they look pretty? A hostess never wants her guests to be sick, so make sure nobody is allergic to the refreshments you serve. Recreation, not recreation, but they look the same. Anyways, it's recreation. That's fancy for games. At tea parties, my guests sometimes like to play games. Here's a fun one. Packing for Paris. This is a memory game. The first guest says, I'm packing for Paris and I'm taking a bow. The next guest repeats that and adds another accessory. I'm packing for Paris and I'm taking a boa and a tiara. The next guest adds a third accessory to the list. Keep going around the table. You must remember everything in order. If you goof, you're out.